Good evening and welcome to Sports Federation TV, the show where we talk about a range of different codes of sport brought to you by the Western Cape Provincial Sport Confederation. My name is Alton Davids. I'll be your host. Tonight's show we chat 8-ball pool, we chat table tennis with Genevieve Lentz. We also look at take a step back and look at last week's Cape Town Sports Council Awards. To kick us off on the show, Mr. Devon September, you well, sir?
I'm well, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming. Let's start at the beginning. My understanding is that there's an organization called QSport.
Yeah.
Now, QSport is a broad name for all QSport. Explain it to me, please.
It's sort of like you say, it's the mother body or the name of the mother body that control all QSport. If I talk all QSport, I'm talking Kerem, snooker, 8-ball pool, Chinese, the whole shooting ball. It's got to do with queuing, falls under that umbrella.
So you mentioned Kerem. My understanding of Kerem is a game that you play in the yard. Now you're telling me it's a national sport. How prominent is Kerem as a competitive sport?
I must be honest, I haven't seen it a lot. But there's about the structures that need to take place and take ownership of that and make it happen. Like if I can talk about why I'm saying that, because from an 8-ball pool side, we have taken onus on what we need to do to develop our code, but soon everybody needs to basically align with the what QSport won.
So let me understand. Under QSport, you got billiards, 8-ball, snooker, Kerem,
8-ball. You mentioned 8-ball and Chinese.
What is Chinese?
Chinese is it's sort of it's a mixture between 8-ball and black ball and 9-ball in a sense. It's the size of the table is almost the size of a snooker. The rule is totally different. My understanding it's more. It's called Chinese because they are the sort of the custodian of that game and bringing all kinds of paddle and cues and tables into to South Africa and to grow the sport.
I've seen a couple of ads where you win a car Is that kind of their game changer?
It is because the investment, I'm not too sure who the true investor is, but the investment side, it looks good. They want to grow the sport, and I think they're doing it, and they're going in the right direction, because ultimately this game, or the Q sport, it's an expensive sport, which most sports are, and but it's also about dedication, and the guys putting in the time, putting in effort, and these guys are coming in. You can win a table, you can win a trip to China to participate there and earn some decent money there. I understand it's almost semi-professional. We do have a few South Africans competing there. The most famous one is Jason Theron. He's making some waves in the Chinese guy.
And in terms of 8-ball pool, because I mean that's where you predominantly focus. How big is 8-ball pool in South Africa?
It's massive. As far as I can remember, it's the first sort of code that sort of instigated or was the main Q sport in South Africa, and a little other avenues came up like the Chinese and all that came in. But like I said, we're a big bunch of members. If I talk about almost 4,000 or 5,000 members.
Wow.
Yeah, but we're affiliated to different organizations.
Is that, so explain 8-ball pool. Is it the table that I see when I go to Stones with the two different colors, the red and the
100%?
Is it what's it, red and
it's
yellow?
Either red and yellow, red and blue.
That's it.
From 1 to 9 different colors, stripes and solids. Yeah, that's what it's all about.
So what's the rule?
The rule is a little bit different.
Okay.
Like I said earlier, it's a combinations of the 8-ball and black ball that is combined. So the federations or the head of federations then sit together, or the world federations sit together and then tweak the rules to make the sport quicker and more accessible to members out there. Because like I said, you want to televise the game, but because of the rule, it takes a bit of time to get the game done. So they're tweaking the rules to make games easier and quicker, so we can get some coverage on the TV side.
Talk about TV coverage. I mean, you as the manager now have just come back from England. Tell us a bit about that experience. What was it about?
It was exciting. It was my first time in England. I managed the under 18 players, the South African champions. There were 4 from Cape Town and 1 from Worcester side or Robertson side.
That made the SA team.
That made the SA team. Good bunch of lads, and we unfortunately came short against Australia in the semi-finals. The experience of the boys. I think next year I can actually put my house on it. We're going to win the national,
sure.
the international.
That's huge commitment.
Because I can see the talent of the kids.
Yeah.
And what was the shortcomings, and I think we're going to work on it. And obviously, it's about that experience, that exposure. Because if you look at the England boys or the people from Europe, the exposure they get, so they're used to that tables. They're used to. So yeah, we got some plans in place. From my side, that is if I'm selected a manager again. So we will have to see.
Yeah.
We'll have to see.
So in your opinion, what is the significant difference besides the big match temperament that we lack as a South African contingent that finished?
It's all about, like I said, it's all about competing, getting confidence, taking on your opponent, and because at the end of it is as a team sport. But when you're at the table, you're an individual on the table. Nobody can coach you. Nobody can do anything. It's you and your opponent. And when you're at the table, it's yourself and the balls.
So what's the format in a competition? So it's singles?
It's singles.
Yeah.
But in Worlds, it's only singles and team events.
Okay.
There's no doubles. But in national level, you have your team events, your singles, and your doubles.
Okay.
And then obviously the categories: ladies, senior, masters, opens, and so on. That's
so if I play in the tournament, how does the team combination work? Is it the first team that cleans the board, or how does it work?
Yeah, basically it's selections of games that you have to play.
Okay.
Maybe 6 frames per session, 4 sessions, and the team who scores the most frame points wins the game.
Okay.
And it's sort of a round robin format. Everybody plays everybody, and then it's a semi-final into the various finals and so on.
You spoke about the national team comprising of people from Cape Town and Worcester. Does the sport not get played elsewhere, or is this
No.
Or is this just the powerhouse of?
I would say it's the powerhouse of pool. Although there is in other regions there's great players there.
Yeah.
But for the last couple of years, especially on the junior side and the ladies side, we've been dominating the sport. I think we're putting in the right foot forward. The guys are committed. They just want to be, like I mentioned earlier on, they just want to be the best. So they would put in the time.
For sure.
Some of the guys are like 7 days a week at the pool venue. That's how committed they are. You'll find them now. If you walk to a pool venue now, you'll see the guys practicing, doing their thing. Like I said, I'm fortunate to being part of Western Province. So I can see the commitment of the guys. And we've been dominating. But like I said, it's not easy. To stay on top, it's a difficult job.
For sure.
So, but I think the young ones and the seniors, they've learned how to cope with that pressure, and they do. If it's not like the same, you won't find the same game in every game. So it's about you need to adapt yourself, adopt yourself, and take the game on as it comes. So
one of the other 2 successes in that tournament was the ladies.
Yes, the ladies.
Tell me a bit about the ladies.
I'm very proud. We had, let me just think quickly, 2 Western Province ladies in there, Debbie and Joy. They competed against the final they played in Australia, against Australia, sorry. It was a nail-biting final, but they prevailed. They, like I said, the temperament, the commitment, you could see they were there. They would play at 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock at night, still playing games 1 o'clock at night. I mean, now games, not practice games, I'm talking about matches, proper matches.
Sure.
So it was tough. They had to beat England to get to the final, which they did. And then they took on Australia and sort of take the title. They took it away with all the energy they got. They were committed. It was just at the right time.
And the composition of the team is from an age point of view, it is nicely spread, because you got, no disrespect to Joy, she's one of the younger ones in the team, and I mean, she's been here on the show a few times, and she's now been at the helm of keeping it together, almost as a consistent coming through the ranks.
Yes, Joy's been around there, and obviously, like I said, then we got Debbie Europa, that's been around the block. She's been there, and we got the others, the Amy's, the Michelle's, the Medley, and the manager. What's her name now? Anya. Sorry, I can't remember the name now. Sorry for that. But they put in the time.
For sure.
And I can promise you that they put in the time. They would also play like Monday, Friday. They be at the pool venue tonight again.
Yeah.
That's a commitment the ladies shows, and they compete against men. In our league, we don't have segregation in terms of ladies play with ladies. We compete amongst each other, and that's what makes them sharp, because they're playing against men. And I'm talking men not in terms of gender alone. the standard of the game.
For sure.
And that's why they can do what they did.
Because they gotta think on their feet all the time
All
and
the
be
time,
sharp
all the
to be
time.
able to compete with the
All the time.
with the top
Yeah.
SA players who are based here in Cape Town, as an
Yes,
example.
yes, yes, yes. We've got a big base, like I said. If you look at the SA squad, there's not 1 year where there's not a Western Province player in that particular team. I'm talking about international teams.
Yeah. And all of these things, you mentioned these international trips, all of them are self-funded, unfortunately.
Yeah.
What does it cost what does it cost you now to go over and represent your country?
It cost me a small fortune, but I was committed. I wanted to be there. But it cost me about almost 28,000 bucks
Sure.
just to get there.
Sure.
No spending, nothing, just flights and accommodation. A year of hard work to get the funds together. Now I'm not talking about myself alone. I'm talking about everybody that participated
For
in
sure.
this international tournament. None of us got a free ride, so it's very difficult. But it's just so the commitment of those individuals, those sports people, they make it happen, or at least we make it happen.
Yeah.
We try to support each other, have whatever functions or events so we can raise some funds. And yeah, that's the way we try to do it.
And sadly, it's not only 8-ball pool. It's 98% of athletes and coaches of sport that are in the same situation. And we need to find some way and ways to try and mitigate that.
Yeah.
And we need to start engaging with sponsors.
Yes.
To come on board and say, we will back 8-ball pool as our national CSI
Yes,
plan.
yes.
You know,
Yeah.
and I think that's where we need to be thinking. Do you is that on your cards as 8-ball pool, or how do you see yourselves trying to raise some funding?
We're putting plans together to make that happen. If I look back a couple of years, maybe 5-7 years ago, if not a bit more, we had some sponsors in the game, big sponsors, SAB and Moniaka. That particular time they were sponsoring the game. It was televised. Now we don't have that anymore. But like I said, we will most probably get back to it, because now being a recognized code in terms of SASCOC will give us that door, the opportunity to
For
walk through that door. So it's about commitment of the administrators, making it work, working hard for the players and the sports code. And we as Western Province, we committed to make that happen.
You mentioned SAB. Is it because one, I know that cigarettes and alcohol had to stop their advertising.
Yeah.
But is it also because that the perception that pool is now moved out of pubs, that you battle to get sponsored, or does it make any difference that you no longer play a lot of pool in pubs or competitive pool?
It's still there. It's still there. It's still there. I know it's a bit difficult nowadays with business in South Africa, and that could be one of the reasons that you mentioned, the fact that it's moving out of the sports bar more to a sports arena type of thing. But it's still there, and people are still, irrespective of where they play.
Yeah.
It's happening in big halls, big civics, and yeah, if you look at it at national level, when you compete at that game, it's set up like that, that you can have your socializing and your game in a separate. It's never together in one particular venue, but it happens. But it's no negative impact on the game. That's what people must understand. It's not a negative impact, because ultimately someone's got to pay the bills.
Exactly. I mean, and that's the perception that needs to be broken. Like yourselves in darts, where the perception is it only happens in a pub. You know, you can only play a good game of darts if you've had a drink. Darts have moved away completely from it, and so have yourselves, because you need to think in terms of longevity, A, of the sport, B, in terms of juniors.
Yeah.
Because if you're going to have it in a pub, you can't bring a 12-year-old into a pub.
Yeah.
So you're really cutting half your pipeline off.
Yeah, that's exactly why we've taken that stance, not to but at the same time, we're not saying no to those businesses that will offer that.
For
then
sure.
we make different structure. We put a different structure in place.
For sure.
Where we have a different venue or different setup for the young ones, and we might have something different for the seniors or the adults per se. But we don't cut them out, because ultimately, like I said, we need every person or opportunity that we want to take it.
Yeah. In terms of growth, how big is pool across Cape Town and across the Western Cape right now?
It's massive. I promise you, it's massive. We've in the last year, 2 years, 3 years, it's been busy. I must be honest, it's been busy to the point that we got how many venues? About 4 or 5 venues, which is massive in the Cape Town Cape Town side, if you look
Nice.
at it, that's been operating business-wise. They up and now they're doing their thing, and everybody's busy on a daily basis. Everybody's busy. If I think back when I was a youngster, when I started this game, it used to be a yard game where you play in your backyard.
For sure.
Now you go to your industrial sites or wherever it's happening.
Yeah.
It's happening, but at the same time, it's still back to still in the yard. But that is where you start at the end of the day. But that's all community-based. You'll get still get community-based clubs that operate from.
You still need a place to train and practice.
There we
that
go.
happens in the backyard or in someone's garage.
Yeah, it happens. If I think back when we started, it used to be in the backyard, but at the same time, the difference is you had your community involved.
For sure.
You understand? On a Sunday or whatever day you played, you invite the opponents to come and play. You will see the community come and watch the game.
Yeah.
And that's how we started the game, and we grew the game to where it is now.
Devin, how do people find out more about 8-ball pool?
It's quite simple. There's websites that we've set up. Western Province website, there's 8-ball pool website, there's Black Bull, there's Chinese, and it's just a click away from searching on Google. You'll find us there. And like I said, PSA is also there, and the other federations that's also participating in this code. Yeah, it's like I said, it's a click of a button. You'll find everything on QSport, on 8-ball pool, Black Bull, click of a button.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
All the best for the preparations for the defending, to going back to defend your title next year, and getting those under 18s ready to take the title.
Yes, we will do it. We'll do it. I promise you that. We'll put in all the practice that we need. We'll put in the time, and we'll give our best.
Awesome. Thanks, Devin.
Thank you.
Let's take an ad break, and we will come back. We'll show you some of the highlights of the Cape Town Sports Council Awards. See you now.